laugh at this next part.
In a world of political correctness and cancel culture, two comedians have risen up to prove that with the right angle, anything can be funny. Live from Golden Ox Studios in Cleveland, Ohio, it's Steve Mers and David Horning. This is You Can't Laugh at That.
Who writes these?
This is called You Can't Laugh at That. And we're here to prove to you that you can laugh at that. My name's David.
Steve Mers.
Dave Flynt.
Dave Flynt is here. Dave Flynt, thanks for joining us today, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me out, man.
No, we're here today to talk about, well, one of your jokes, first of all, is one of my favorite jokes. Just it resonates so much with me. Just because for such a long time, like, I've always been confused as to why certain words hurt certain people. Just because, like, from a young age, I got picked on a lot when I was a kid, and I was like, oh, you mean if I don't get angry about this, they'll stop? Oh. And so, like, ever since then, I mean, I don't want to superimpose my opinions on other people. Like, you got to have some empathy in the situation. But at the same time, like, I think words are based mostly off of the intention of the speaker more than anything. And that's kind of what we want to talk about today with your joke. But also we want to kind of dive into a couple of other comedians who kind of approach the topic from a different perspective and find some ways to make some of those taboo words.
We'll find ways to make it seem like it's not offensive.
Mm-hmm.
Wait.
So we're going to play a clip from one of the all-time greats, one of my favorites, a comedian that I draw a lot of influence from. And then we'll break it down a little bit and then kind of build off of that and see where our conversation takes us. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right, let's do a little. This is George Carlin.
Okay.
George Carlin is that dude.
George.
And these are the. This is a classic bit. 7 words you can't say on TV. I'm sure if you're a comedian, you've definitely heard this bit before. But here we go.
There are some words that we just have decided we will not say all the time. Sometimes, okay. If you're running through the jungle chasing somebody that we're at war with, you can holler them. If you're shooting a criminal, it's okay. It's the all-American thing. Dirty fucking crook. But if you're with the bishop's wife at lunch, it's better not to ask for the goddamn lettuce. You know what I mean? It's just like we've decided there'll be some words we won't say all the time. And I was just trying to find out which words they were. For sure, all of them. I wanted a list. Because nobody gives you a list. That's the problem. They don't give you a list. Wouldn't you think it'd be normal if they didn't want you to say something to tell you what it is? Nobody even tells you when you're a kid what the words are that you're supposed to avoid. You have to say them to find out which ones they are. Shit! Oh, fuck! That's 2. Oh, Ma, that's enough trial and error, huh? Please, Ma, give me a list, huh? All right, you're 6 years old now, and here's the list of words your dad and I don't ever want to hear you say. Oh, hey, thanks, Ma. Boy, that's going to save me an ass kicking or two. Yeah, you never know what's going to be on the list. Because it's always somebody else's list. You didn't make that up. Somebody told you that shit. They told you, better not say that. So you gotta, and you don't know what's going to be on their list. God, people's lists even change from day to day. Some people on Friday night got a list, about 2 or 3 words. Sunday morning, goddamn, there's like 27 words. These are the same people 2 days later. Different list. So you got to kind of watch out what you're going to believe from them. The trouble is, I was trying to find out what these words might be. And I wanted to know the ones that you could never say. I mean the filthy words that are always filthy. There are a lot of these little two-way, double entendre words that have 2 meanings, words that are okay part of the time. I call them like part-time filth. Some of these words, they're only 50% dirty. You have words like ass. Ass is hardly even a dirty word anymore, but it has a few meanings that you can't say on television. That's what I was talking about. What can you say on television? That's another one of those places where we can't use these words all the time. But some of them are all right some of the time. Ass is all right on television. You can say on television things like, well, you've made a perfect ass of yourself tonight. But you can't say, hey, let's go get some ass. Bitch. Bitch is another word like that. Same kind of word. It's only dirty part of the time. Depends on what you mean by bitch. You might be the lady from the San Diego Zoo visiting one of the Tonight shows, and you might just have a bunch of little canines with you there. One of them is a female. You say, there's the bitch, Johnny, and it's okay, fine. Just don't refer to the singer the same way. That's all. Is that bitch going to do another number? Yes. Animals are fine on those two-way words, and that's it. That's what I was trying to find. The words that were always dirty, not just part of the time, but completely filth. Well, in looking for these words, I kept finding new categories. We have so many ways of describing these dirty words. We have more ways to describe dirty words than we actually have dirty words. That seems a little strange to me. It seems to indicate that somebody was awfully interested in these words. They kept referring to them. They called them bad words, dirty, filthy, foul, vile, vulgar, coarse, in poor taste, unseemly, street talk, gutter talk, locker room language, barracks talk, bawdy, naughty, saucy, raunchy, rude, crude, lewd, lascivious, indecent, profane, obscene, blue, off-color, risque, suggestive, cursing, cussing, swearing, and all I could think of was shit, piss, fuck, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker, and tits. That's all I had. Shit, piss, fuck, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker, and tits. That was my original list. I knew it wasn't complete, but it was a starter set.
You can't laugh at that.
Everything that exists, we made up.
Yeah, exactly. Like words.
Everything is just some type of concept, illusion, whatever.
Right, and just 'cause, like, we made it up. So if there's something that's not working, like, that means we can change it. There's nothing that's like, oh, this is like an irrefutable law forever.
Shit, even time. Like, who said today is Tuesday? What the fuck is a Tuesday? Like,
Yeah.
who's the first dude to make a Tuesday? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
why you call it Tuesday? Like,
Why'd you name it after a fucking Norse god?
Yeah. It's all based on
Thursday.
T-E-W.
Thursday.
shared beliefs and a shared story to bring people together. Just because, I mean, we're a social species. We got to have that, like, what connects us together. Oh, today's Wednesday for you two? Cool, we got that in common. Let's start there.
Our days are half Roman gods, half Norse gods named after. Like, well, Monday's moon, Tuesday's two, Woden, Thor, Friday, Fry, and then Saturn, and then the sun. I don't know.
Yeah.
This is why I don't give a fuck about anything. This is entirely too much shit to give a fuck about in life. Think about it.
Yeah, the day. It's just wake up
It doesn't
and do shit.
It's
mean
way
anything.
too much to care about. Like,
Right.
It doesn't mean anything, so you shouldn't care about it, you know? Like, I
oh my
agree.
God. You have a heart attack trying to care about everything.
Yeah.
That's why everybody has anxiety now, man. It's like there's so
Overload.
many things to overload all the time.
No,
Just
it's
this
these
constant
fucking
barrage.
phones. That's why everybody got anxiety. Our attention span is like a fucking hiccup.
Yeah.
You just scrolling through shit all day. It's like, entertain me, motherfucker, right now. Show me your entire life. Take
Yeah,
a video
right.
on your dashboard dropping your kids off. Post a twerk video. Post some scientific shit.
All of a sudden it's
Post
2
a
p.m.
Browns game.
Yeah, right. It's 2 p.m. and you haven't done shit and you're watching somebody else's life.
Yeah, like you watch social media like it's the actual news. Like,
Right.
When you ever seen the weatherman, you just like go through your feed, like, and then you just get so used to it. Like most people, first thing they do, I bet everybody in this room probably check your phone, don't you?
Yep. Yeah, I try not to. Like I do this thing where I'll leave my phone in the room in the other room. I'll hear my alarm go off. I'll go get it, and I'll bring my phone back to bed and just like scroll for a minute.
Shit is new crack, man.
Yeah.
And it's way more expensive than the old crack. I'm just actually start smoking crack. It's cheaper than a phone bill. Probably a little less addictive.
Right. You get that dopamine hit, right? Like.
Yeah, I don't need a phone. I know where his house at.
Yeah.
No, I'm just playing.
That's right. You use a map again.
Laughing.
He points out a lot of. I mean, when he's talking about the two different meanings of ass, two different meanings of bitch, like he's pointing out a lot of our inconsistencies. Like, why is it okay here, but it's not okay here? the intent of
like
the
we
user.
was talking about before we watched the video. Everything is bullshit, and it's entirely too much shit to care about. But then you gotta deal with people's feelings if you know what I'm saying, don't ride the same wave they on. So it's like, how do you balance it out? How do you give minimal enough fucks to go about your life without getting an anxiety attack at fucking 8 years old, and balance out not making everybody else hate you so much because they're uncomfortable about you not aligning with whatever points they on? So it's like, do you play this juggling act, or you just do what you want to do and be like, shunned, I guess. Maybe that's not the right word to say. Or do you do the opposite? You just completely go along with it and always have that little itch inside, like, it's not me, like, till one day you just like, what do you do? I think that's more so the question than just like the words he's talking about, like the ideal of like what, like, I mean, because most comedy for real nowadays, it's like they threatening the art form with all this. I mean, man, I don't know, man. I'm not smart enough to speak on all that, but man, I just the hypersensitivity is like crazy. But then again, too, I guess it pushes you further because it makes you try to be more creative and profound when you're trying to express your thoughts, because you got to keep that in the back of your mind, the tiptoe, the hopscotch over everybody's emotions. So, I don't know, maybe it kind of make you get on your toes a little bit.
You crossed the line.
But no, I mean, you're right. Like, you could just barrel through, and that's like the easy way to do it. Going back to what you're saying, Dave. Like, I mean, you could just come out and hit all those words and have the audience like,
I didn't say it was easy. I just put the two options out there because everybody got different strengths and weaknesses. Like, some people, certain things might be a breeze. To others, it might be a, catastrophe.
well, what's your? I mean, when you so you have a joke that I absolutely adore.
Thanks, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, I look forward to hearing it every time. It's one of those jokes like I don't get tired of hearing.
Yeah, man,
Like,
really
there are some jokes where comedians say, and it's like, oh, that's really funny, but then I hear it again, and it's like, I've heard this before. But like, you deliver it with just such an authenticity every time that it's enjoyable to watch every time. And I wish we had a recording of it. I mean, you can kind of, if you want to give like a general overview of it.
It's a taboo word for everything or every group or every idea you associate with, right? So I guess like the norm is like, if you are that thing, you can say that word. Like, it's too many rules to care about. So it's like you got to pick a factor to align with, and only then do you have the right to say that. Like,
so you, what's the first line of the joke? Like, how do you set it up?
Well, it honestly wasn't a joke. It was just a thought I had, and I just kind of just wrote it down. I never really like wrote it as a joke. Like I really thought that, because I never heard that word before. So I guess it's just like my foreign perspective to it, just like anybody's foreign perspective. Like, because I mean, like, what's that, overseas? Don't they call cigarettes fags? Like,
Yeah, and they use the word cunt a lot differently there, too.
I don't see any cigarettes protesting for.
I call dudes cunt all the time, so when I call someone a cunt, I feel really weird that people. I just like that word.
Like,
I don't know.
ain't a dike like a geography word, like a valley or a river or something like that, like a trench?
Or it's
like
a
dike,
it holds water, like dike.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, it's a million meanings for every different word, and it all depends. Like, who gives it? Like, it's too much to be like all Krabby Patty about.
Yeah, I think what matters most is your ideology. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's people that don't even use like bad words, but they're like terrible people. And those are like kind of like the way they've rebranded racism, like where it's like David Duke, and they're like wearing suit and ties, and they're like, and that's how they get in through to places and start to establish more, because they're like, they know that the left is like, oh, words, but it's like, no, you guys don't even care about like ideology, or well, it's like easy to hide that, Yeah,
I mean, words is like tools. You can use them to do this, or you can use them to do that, and it all depends on who's using the tools.
Yeah.
I mean, even more than tools, it's like magic. Like, you know what I'm saying? So many different meanings for words. It's all about the intention behind it, I guess. You know? It's like, I don't know.
Right. I mean, that's like a hammer is, I mean, just to take your tool analogy literally.
And build your house so I can knock you the fuck out.
Right.
You know?
Right. Right. But no one gets mad when you say hammer. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's the intent.
But if you bash my skull in, it's like,
Right. It's the intent of the user that is most important. Like, if,
And
so
if a person is making some art, then you know the intent is never to hurt. It's art. So at the end of the day, somebody getting offended over a tool being used for art is just ridiculous. The whole idea about it, like, it's not like anybody up there is using this stuff to hurt anybody. You know what I'm saying? He's just expressing ideas and thoughts.
Especially if you're being like the comedians, at least half the time are just being sarcastic, or they're just trying to make people laugh. Regardless, they're not trying to be serious.
the
If they
intent
were
is
really
laughter.
just sitting up there lecturing you, then yeah, maybe they are being an asshole. But they're just trying to make people laugh.
Right.
I laugh at Louis C.K. because he's saying shit that is like so wrong that's why you laugh at it. Not because you agree with it, but because it's so messed up. You're like, that's hilarious. I think it's hilarious. It makes me laugh. It's like, yeah, I don't know. You know,
I would rather have somebody saying it and be able to laugh at it. So then when somebody does it, it's like, oh, that's wrong. Like,
I'm laughing at him crossing the line.
Right.
I'm not laughing because I'm like, yeah, that's totally true. You know what I mean? Like that wouldn't make any sense. People do not break that down at all, and they just leave it at this surface level kind of a thing where they're like, oh, it's bad. And it's like, you're not even breaking it down. You're not even like going in there and thinking about what you're even laughing at.
right. Sometimes someone will just hear a word and then like they won't even listen to anything else that person has to say. It's like you've just cost yourself an opportunity to learn something here today.
It's so crazy even trying to break it. I mean, what are words? Just noises? Words are literally just noises out of your mouth. And it's not like this word is going to cause that emotion to everybody. Some people might hear this noise that you make with your mouth and they might feel a certain way about it. Others may not. It just depends on what you got inside you. And you can't make everybody, you know what I'm saying, your emotional babysitter. And I stand firm by it. Like if somebody's not outright trying to offend you and like it's just art, like you can't be word police out here, or you're gonna make it to a point where there is no more art. Because art, you know, by definition is what, you know, the opposite. You know what I'm trying to say,
it's a
man.
subjective
You got all the fancy
experience.
words.
Yeah.
you see me tapping out on like the fourth
yeah.
word, like, you know, yeah.
Whatever that fancy word is, veranda.
Hit me with the fancy word.
Yeah. But going back to your joke, like I've seen you make an entire audience of old white ladies laugh with that joke, like cunt, like. You know, I mean, at first you see them tighten up, but then you're just you go up there, you deliver your ideas, and you can kind of see the tension lift on the room. No, because I love watching the audience, especially if it's a bit I've seen multiple times from a comedian. I love watching the audience's reaction. Like that's one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah,
it's
you get to see a fresh reaction to
right,
it.
right, and again that makes it fresh for me.
Right.
Again. Which is
we all
great.
love making people laugh. That's why we do this. But man, it gets weird after a while, like of doing it for so long. Like you start to notice people's like emotional reactions. You be like, man, like you can affect people's emotions with this. Like how they feel at one part of a joke and another, and it's like this whole roller coaster ride you take them on through the whole set. It's like that's a really powerful experience you share with them. Like. Depending on the mood, you might catch a man. It could be like an emotional experience. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember, he probably don't remember. We was fraud. One lady, this lady came up to my dude Yusuf Ali after the show, and she was just like breaking down. She had just had like the worst whatever experience. Like, I don't remember whatever her ass was whining about. But the point was that his set like made her so happy. Like it had just like. You know, it did all type of wonders for her for whatever she was going through, and like that feeling right there, like to see him like get that moment, like You know,
Yeah.
you just see it with real fulfillment inside, though, man. That was dope.
That's why we do this, man.
Yeah.
It's like, man, people really you get affected by this.
Yeah, people come in with everybody has their own headspace that they're coming in with.
But
And
knowing that it has that emotional power over people, does that mean the responsibility is on us? I mean, really?
Yeah,
though?
because you can make that the opposite experience for someone.
Yeah.
I think what the problem is, people don't really break down like what we're talking. Like, a lot of what comedians do isn't even if it's like seems offensive, it isn't. But then there's people that are just being like assholes that are like just like it's not funny. And it's not even necessarily meant to be funny. It's something about what they're saying and not what is funny about it, but just like I don't know. It's so like I don't know. Like Shane Gillis, like was he being like sarcastic or is he just like just shooting the shit and that's just how he talks?
Who's
Yeah.
Shane Gillis?
He was that dude that got fired from SNL before he even because he said what did he say, Chank?
A bunch of shit.
Yeah, he said a bunch of stuff.
He was just
Well,
saying
like-
fag casually, but it's
Yeah.
like he was saying it in like not really
He was
like
saying it in
a,
his audition.
yeah, it's like, no,
For
this is his
SNL?
podcast.
no, he was just being like it was
Oh.
weird. See, it's one of those things where I'm not sitting here trying to qualify and judge what he was saying, but it's like, yeah, if you're I don't know. But what I was getting at is like you have like say take like an Indian comic, like what's his name?
So he got fired from his job.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
from
got-
SNL.
Yeah, they gave him it, and then like a week later they took it away.
Yeah.
And that was weird. So it was awkward.
They was
Super awkward.
scared. They was scared of the backlash.
Right.
But I mean, here we go again. It's like who's gonna play the cop? You know what I'm saying? Who's gonna play the morality cop on this one? It's a million different factors in every situation. Like, why is that our responsibility? Like, damn, can I just make you laugh and get drunk, like, and go home? Like, why
That's
do
the
I
most
gotta be
pure
Superman?
intention.
Like,
Yeah.
fuck. Handle your own fucking shit. Like, look, life is full of terrible fucking shit. It's gonna suck. People gonna offend you. People gonna degrade you. It's not my job to like hold your fucking hand. I'm not gonna be the only person to offend you in life. If you can't take that shit, then I'm sorry. Like, you're gonna have a rough fucking life.
Dish it back.
You shouldn't be at a comedy show. You should be seeing a therapist.
Yeah.
Or both.
Yeah.
Or we could be a therapist. Oh,
Yeah.
shit, here we go. You think it's like therapy for you when you tell jokes?
I think that connection that I make with the audience when I can make an audience laugh, that's therapy to me.
It's therapeutic for you in that way?
Yeah, I mean, you got to think about it. You're releasing all kinds of serotonin and like oxytocin in your brain when you make connections with other people, especially something as primal as laughter. Because that's like, I mean, that's the most basic human level. Like when we're laughing, we're at our most like authentic self, like in that moment.
Yeah.
Because I mean, that's just your brain letting go and your body just doing what it does.
I think there's the gray area between the thing is like we take comedy out of this stuff. It can be completely offensive and like I don't like that word. I think I just mean like evil. I don't know. Like where like what you people making fun of Indian people when they grow up. You know, just like that sort of thing. Like. You dot head, like, and that's benign. I'm talking about like camel jockey, like,
oh yeah,
like just going in and it just get worse and worse and worse. Like it's so that's the distinction. Like people think that, and then you got like Apu on Simpsons, right?
Right.
And then that's a little bit of a gray area where you're like, is that offensive or is that like so out of the realm of like reality that it's just I don't know. Like, and I'm not even necessarily the one to make that call, you know? Like,
yeah, how can one single person be in charge of not offending the entire fucking world with all the different cultures and tribes and races and peoples and groups and blah, 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 blah. Like, how can you put all of that on one fucking comedian, person, singer, artist, actor, rap, blah, 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 whatever?
I think if we can make a more level playing field, the problem is like the inequality. You know, if everybody were treated more equally in society, then there's no reason to feel offended about something because everybody doesn't feel like they're being like subjugated.
Right. It's almost like guilt.
Yeah.
I mean,
people still got their own emotional stuff they're going through that make them feel a certain way. Like, you know, you could be listening to a rap song in your car and you can be like, yeah, fuck your bitch. And like your girl just cheated on you 2 weeks ago. So you're like, or you could be a dude who fucked his bitch and you listen to that song like, oh, I feel good. So
That's me.
it's all about the perspective you got in you, because that's going to determine how you interpret this piece of art. Because like you could look at a Van Gogh and have like, oh, this feeling. And you can look at it like, oh, like, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, and we come at a lot of things like we judge ourselves based off of our own intentions, but we judge other people based off their actions.
Excuse
So
my
like,
crude analogy too. You know, I was just
No,
any
no,
listeners out there like, oh my god, this is the last time I listen to their podcast.
This is a PG podcast.
After some of the
We've
things
said
I've already
cunts.
said, they've
Yeah.
already stopped listening.
Yeah.
Those people.
Well, I feel like going back to like, I feel like Game of Thrones has kind of softened the blow of that word too, because like they say cunt in Game of Thrones all the time.
I'm like the only person that's still never seen Game of Thrones.
It's just like if you can say cunt with a Scottish accent, it's fine.
Yeah, it's like
Oh,
a
you're
different
all right,
thing.
cunt. Like,
I don't know why I
wow, that's
automatically
great.
thought of Sean Connery. You see that interview where he's talking about slapping bitches?
Hey,
He's like, so are you saying, Mr. Connery, that it's okay to put your hands on a woman? He's like, sometimes if there's a situation and, it needs some correcting and, I have to be in a position to correct it, it might be corrected. Like, he said some, like, real
Straighten
pimp
it
shit.
out.
I'm like, damn, like, James Bond was not playing. Like,
He was never cast in
and I
another
thought he was
movie.
gonna, because I thought he was gonna try to like do like people do nowadays, like backpedal and apologize, like, oh no, what I meant was actually no. He's just like, no, I mean, if a bitch needs to get slapped, I'll slap a bitch. I'm like, damn, Sean Connery, like.
Surprised that hasn't
Not
been
playing.
sampled in like.
Oh
like a
man,
track.
I was cracking up watching that interview. Not because that was a right thing to do or a wrong thing to do, or it's okay to hit women. I wasn't thinking of that. I was just looking at it purely from a comedic standpoint of like this old dude talking about. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
funny.
And if you look at
Yeah,
art that
there's-
way, with that vision as just purely a form of entertainment, and stop looking at it as a moral compass for you to live by and for everybody else to adjust and adapt to, then you can just have fun and stop worrying about, ooh, he said this. What the fuck is a cuss word? Curse word? That's literally what it's called. Curse word.
Yeah.
You think about it though, right?
Curse word on you.
C-U-R-S-E. Like, who cursed the word? Like,
I've been hexed.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
The devil.
can't say that, baby.
Curse
no.
word.
Those words are cursed.
I watched a TED Talk that changed my like. I've always told people, "Hey, you laugh at stuff because it's wrong," but that's a really oversimplified sounding way to put. I don't. But then I watched this TED Talk, and this guy was breaking it down. He's like, "It's a moral violation. You laugh at stuff. That's why the offensive stuff is funny, because you are laughing because your moral compass inside is like, that's not right." You know, and you laugh, and that's not you agreeing.
You
That's
feel
you
guilty
going
for identifying
Yeah.
with, like,
right.
Yeah. Your brain's like, this isn't right. Like
You're not supposed to overthink comedy.
Right.
You're supposed to just laugh because it makes you laugh. And if it makes you laugh, don't feel guilty.
But see, we losing that though by this opposition that's coming up.
Yeah.
And this opposition, not opposition is the wrong word. This movement to kind of sterilize everything is only coming about because of the struggles they face. They're only a product of what happened to them. Just the struggle they had to face from being kicked in the ass by society. So now they got a chip on their shoulder and they want to come for everybody's neck. If you say anything, like, we putting you in the blender, like chop suey, motherfucker. So it's like, you can't even be mad at it, but it's just going to sterilize everything, and you're just not gonna be able to enjoy it anymore. Everything's gonna be a fucking TED talk. Everything's gonna be some boring ass fucking speech. Fucking like, ugh.
I completely agree.
We're gonna be out of jobs.
right.
Ain't gonna be no TV shows.
Yeah.
You can't make fun of milk.
Like, yeah, milk comes from cows. Okay, do you know what it's
Animal-
like to be a cow?
Animal rights.
Yeah.
I got it on my arms. Like Moby.
Man, I was at this bar, man, and
My
this
knuckles.
chick snatched a fucking cup of water, tried to snatch a cup of water out of my hand. It's like, you're using plastic cups. You ain't supposed to be cash cups. You know what I'm saying? And I did say the B word, but I'd already been drinking. And somebody just snatched a cup out of my hand. It was like involuntary. Like I wasn't trying to be disrespectful, but I mean, she literally was just like trying to snatch my whole cup out of my hand. Like, of course she was drunk, but like just because I was using a plastic cup. Like, number one, I don't give a fuck about recycling. No, actually, that's number 3. Number 1, who the fuck is you snatching my cup out of my hand? Like, you lucky you know what I'm saying?
The recycling.
You lucky I'm not Sean Connery, or I would have backhand her ass off the stool. And then second of all, like after, you know what I'm saying, I didn't say it was tough. Anyway, let me just get to the point. She tried to justify the whole situation and like, oh, we can't, I'm like, blah, 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 whatever. But just the fact that she was so entitled to do that like she really thought she could be Captain Planet, save the plastic girl. I'm gonna just go around snatching people cups. Like, if I was the other type of dude though, I could have slapped her across a bar stool though. But I'm not even like that though. But it's just like, that's just a glimpse of what it really is though, man. It's like a social manifestation of that act that she did. Like, that's how like the world is trying to do everything. They trying to snatch the plastic cup out of all our hands though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
She's an idiot because that's not your fault for having a plastic cup. That's whoever made the plastic cup's fault.
They come in here like, hey guys, can I have the recycle cups? Like, I don't even know.
They don't even recycle.
Like,
no one. 90% of that shit gets thrown out. No one cares.
Right, you put it in the recycling bin, but then what? It just all goes to the same. Like, I mean, Cleveland doesn't have the program to
I'm gonna come outside, see her siphoning the gasoline out of the car, like, this gasoline comes from dead dinosaurs.
Animal rights.
We would still have dinosaurs if we didn't have gasoline.
Dinosaur rights.
Dumb bitch. Like, in that situation, it's okay to call somebody a dumb bitch. She was being a dumb bitch. Whatever your belief system is, it'll get you the right to slap cups out of people's hands.
Yeah.
You know
There's
what I'm
a better way to
that's
go
like,
about
That's
doing
like
it.
somebody snatching a burqa off a chick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. Well, I mean.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I mean, by concept, by principle, it is you got a certain belief system, and you feel because of that, you entitled to disrespect or bully people into feeling how you feel. She felt like she could bully my cup, smack my cup up out of my hand because she feel, and I have to align with the idea like we was talking about. And it's like, where do you go in life? Do you teeter that fence? Do you give in, or you just forever be an outcast to the ideas of society?
Did she have a hemp purse or something? Was she wearing any polyester at all? Because that's...
Probably.
I wasn't even paying attention. I was so hot, man. But, you know, it was whatever.
Yeah.
Probably.
But so that brings us back around to the circle. Like, what do we do? Can we even make art anymore, or do we have to be everybody's therapist?
I think there's a little bit of a... I think it's sensationalized, like where people think that this is a bigger movement than it is. I think a lot of people agree with us.
No, it is.
It's just social media.
Yeah,
I mean,
we in the social media. Remember we was just talking about everybody being cell phone addicts?
Yeah.
Like we were talking about that earlier, and the social media is the culture.
Yeah.
So, you know, if that influences the culture, which
That's true.
we feed every morning that we wake up into, then that's the new law. Like, that's the new law of the land.
Right. So when you're reading an article every day about how somebody got offended, and then you go to like a comedy show and a comedian talks about that topic immediately, like subconsciously, you're just like, oh,
I shouldn't laugh.
Yeah.
Even if they don't necessarily agree with them. They're just like, I'm not allowed to laugh at that now.
Exactly.
I've noticed that.
Yeah.
And you guys have noticed it too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only happened in the last few years. Stuff that used to get laughs 7 years ago is not getting laughs anymore.
right. Like you'll go up. You talk about a cunt is the white lady's N word, which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you
It's
see
like
people
Bernie
that
Mac when he did
aren't
the
even in
milk
those
and
groups.
cookies joke. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna say flipped out because I don't know what the fuck do I be knowing, but it's like some people were a little tight about it because they felt like he was being disrespectful to gay people. Do you think when he went on stage, he was like, I'm disrespect some gay motherfuckers? No, he was just trying to make people laugh. He was talking about his little nephew or son or whatever, you know, and his little funny mannerisms. He wasn't trying to put him down for being anything. You know, he was just trying to make light of some mannerisms. And the fact that anyone took that as anything other than just trying to make somebody laugh is bullshit.
Yeah.
That's like trying to, what you call that when they trying to burn witches at the stake? like trying to call everybody
A witch hunt.
Yeah. So damn, that was pretty simple.
I felt like there was another word though. I get what you're saying though. I don't know what
like
it is,
they try
but
to turn this into a witch hunt. They just coming after everybody with the pitchforks, like, yeah, blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying?
Was there like an episode of SpongeBob where like a angry mob kept going like back and forth from two different like?
Yeah.
I feel like that's pretty indicative of a lot of things. But yeah, I mean,
Do we have obligations because we do have that power as artists and entertainers to influence? Do we have responsibilities because we have that power?
I think there are real lines, and then there's the lines that of the people we're talking about, where they draw a line way before there are lines. Like, of course, you can get to a point where it's like you are, or maybe you are being serious, and then you're saying things that it's like, wow, okay, but there's a difference. Yeah, there's the real line, and then there's the line that's not reasonable.
Should funny be the rule? Should funny be the law? As long as it's funny, you know what I'm saying?
I think if the intent is there, I mean,
as long as it's funny, should you be able to say? Because you think about it, just the act of somebody laughing is them showing that they relate to this idea so much that it just makes them, you know what I'm saying, explode with laughter.
This is what sucks, though, is because we're getting into this territory of ruining jokes where we're like breaking it down, and it's like I think it matters. I think what matters is not generally, but like, okay, let me hear the specific joke we're talking about because everything's different. But then it's like, then we're sitting here breaking down jokes. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do it. It just ruins it. I mean, obviously, we're not here to laugh at the joke. We are just tearing it apart. But
that's what Carlin bit seemed like to me. Like, it wasn't like a story about somebody getting into argument, somebody, a newspaper line called him a cunt. It was somebody actually breaking down the ideology of the word and trying to give their perspective on how bewildered they was trying to figure out how to use this word and what lines to step on.
Right, and he talks about like being a kid. Like, you don't find out a bad word is a bad word until you get like smacked across the face for saying it.
Are words like drugs where if you make them legal, they lose their power? You know what I mean? Or like, it's like the problem is you have to make them like, it doesn't apply to everything necessarily, but it's like generally that could be a thing where it's like you start to dilute something. There are words from 300 years ago. I forgot who had a bit on this, but there's 300-year-old words. It might have been you. There's a word. Was it you, Dave? Don't you have a joke about like 300 years ago there was a word? You're like, someone had a joke about this where like 300 years ago there was this word. Oh, I think it might have been Bill Squire, where he's like, there's a word and it's Slubberdigullion,
yeah, that was Bill.
Yeah,
Slubberdigullion.
Does that offend anybody? But back then, they would slap you with a chainmail
but
glove.
It sounds so goofy. Like, as a matter of fact, that's a good ass joke because it makes somebody say, it sounds, I don't know what the fuck that shit means. It sounds goofy as hell and it just made me laugh. But the thought of getting murdered over saying goofy shit. Like,
that just sounds like a word like a little kid made up.
But there are, but it's like
Slubberdigullion. Slubberdigullion.
You can't just dilute a word. It has to take time. But things have to change too for that word to lose its meaning alongside just the word being used up.
Right. I mean, the fact that people will go out and use a word as a weapon is, to me, it's ridiculous.
If you're prohibiting words of being said, it gives the word more power, I feel like. So when you're making it even more illegal, then it's like, oh, now you're making that word more pourful.
Are those the only two questions? Do words have power? And if so, do we have responsibility? That seems like the only two questions.
Words themselves. Symbols.
Well, not the only two.
They symbolize ideas, but it's like, what's the idea? And then like, is that... can that really cause somebody some distress?
Should we be held responsible though? I guess that's the point I'm trying to ask.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to change the narrative. Like, if there's a word that brings people pain, like, how do we change the narrative? We can get rid of the word, or we can soften the blow.
People
of the
need
word.
to be educated because stupidity is like part of the problem. Like using slurs and stuff that's based on ignorance. And then like if people weren't ignorant, then we wouldn't worry about these things anymore.
I mean, to see so many people like pee their pants laughing at Clayton Bigsby, just completely like, you know what I'm saying, like blew the entire mold or outline out of the water. It showed that like something that could have, you know, dredged up so much hatred could be turned into something that was like so funny, and people completely looked past, you know, the negative symbolism of it and just purely took it as a tool of laughter. Like,
that was expert writing. I mean, that,
Yeah.
it was just funny shit, man, that everybody could relate to, and they completely forgot about, you know what I'm saying, they tortures and they witch hunt.
You got to let people know where you're coming from, or at least they got to get where your sense of humor is coming from, because that's where the
So it's funny to rule once again.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
as long as it's
exactly.
funny?
If you can make it funny and it's truly funny, then yeah, because then people are like, I understand where you're coming
yeah,
from.
that made everybody forget.
People
Be
like
racist, don't bomb.
That made everybody forget. I mean, you make him. I mean, making him physically blind too. Like that was. I mean,
if you're not an asshole, make people convinced you're not an asshole before you say something that makes people think you might be an asshole. Like, that's kind of how you do it, and then people are like, "Oh, he's being sarcastic or satire or whatever you want to call it."
but that's. I mean, I love your joke about, you know, if you're retarded, you're or
Yeah.
if you say retarded, you're
Oh
retarded.
my god, I
Yeah.
love it. I love the pause that you take at the end. That's so
Let
funny
it cook
because you
a
see
little
the
bit.
audience like that. You see that thing in them,
Yeah.
man. That is so funny, man.
Yeah,
I mean, you do. So, I mean, it's very simply put. I mean, your word economy on that joke is great, but you communicate so much. I mean, just saying, if you use the word retarded, you're a retard.
You kn-
So immediately, like, you are
No, you say if you
communicating,
don't.
you're on the
no,
side
you
of
say
the
if
audience.
you don't like.
Or if you, yeah.
And there's-
Yeah,
yeah,
if you don't
there's-
like little, you like
If you don't like
retards,
retards,
you're
a retard.
retarded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't like black people, you're retarded.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You know, I'm very self-conscious about that joke, because not for what it is, but because it feels like a Louis C.K. thing. Because he's always gone into retard, faggot, like he's done that for years.
But don't look at it like a thing. Just look at it as your perspective.
But yeah,
that was
you got-
your thought.
I
You
did-
had that thought, right?
Yeah,
and then you said it.
I wrote that based on notes I had that was not that joke at first. It was like, what if we started calling the people that say those things and
Brought a
turn it on
concept to
them?
life.
Yeah, and so it wasn't really like but it just, the words themselves are very Louis C.K. Even though I like wrote that like 6 months into doing comedy, it's like still like my favorite joke of mine. I just can't.
That's what was so good, man. That's what I was saying about the cunt joke. I guess that's what we call it now, the cunt joke.
Yeah.
but it was just a concept, idea, you know, a concept I had more so than me trying to like write out a joke. So a thought I had, and I shared it, and it was like relatable. And I feel like that makes the best material, because it's just your feelings, you know, just out there completely butt naked. You know what I'm saying? And people relate to it or they don't. But like when people really feel it and it's really you, it's like it's a good feeling, man.
Well, for sure. I mean, it's you can tell, like, you're bewildered by the word, like. Just like I thought it was the inside of the elbow. Like,
It's different than like, why did chicken cross the road? Like,
Right.
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, I mean, you completely
Like, did you see a chicken cross the road? Was you there that day? Did you get in a car accident and almost died? You seen the chicken? You had experiential experience? Or is this why did chicken cross the road? You know what I'm saying?
Why did the chicken cross the road?
Yeah.
I've heard a deep explanation to get to the other side. I mean, like, it died.
Unless there's a
Get-
berm. But I saw a dead chicken on the highway the other day. I'm like, can I write a joke about this?
Yeah, we should write a movie about a chicken trying to make it home on the freeway. Just one chicken dodging cars.
Yeah.
They made a video game out of that, except they made it a frog.
Who would be the voice of the chicken?
Gilbert Gottfried.
Yeah, that's the easy answer.
Wait, who would be the worst voice for the chicken?
Gilbert Gottfried.
More, yeah, a Morgan Freeman chicken.
The
Mark
chickens
is very
want equal rights
introspective.
too. The chickens want freeways that they should have access to, because they're chickens and the freeway shouldn't be used for just humans in their cars. And it's
Yeah.
not right. And all the chickens are gonna go on strike until we make this fair and equal. And if
deer
you even
get a sign.
say the word chicken on the freeway, we're gonna cancel your Netflix special.
Why did chicken cross the road? Because he's free range. That's what you get for letting him have rights.
More dead chickens.
It's Moby's fault.
That's why the chickens started smoking crack and overdosing, and then
Yeah.
Popeyes bought them up and started making sandwiches. Popeyes actually
first.
got the chickens hooked on crack back in the 80s so they could kill themselves and so they could use them for the sandwiches. They knew what they was doing.
Those are cheaper chickens too.
Yeah.
The government dropped the chickens on the freeway because they knew it'd cause a rampage, and they dropped crack in the chicken community because they knew it'd make good sandwiches.
And then the chicken sandwiches are just cracking in the urban community.
I think we could squeeze like 18 more chicken jokes out right now if we really put our hearts into it.
Real answer to that question is simple bacteria.
Yeah, it was a
Single cell organisms. That's what came first.
Yeah.
But no.
Abiogenesis.
When they start talking about very intelligent things, I just sit quietly. I just wait till they start talking about dumb shit again.
Laughing.
So Gary Gulman has a really good joke about synonyms, and I just thought of this earlier. We were talking about. I don't even remember what we were talking
Synonym rolls.
about. Yeah.
Sprinkle with sarcasm.
Yeah, they're pastries. So synonyms. That's the name of the joke, and it's a really funny look at like two words that mean the same thing. I don't know. Just listen to it. It's
And who's this, boy?
Gary Gulman.
My friend recommended a documentary to me recently about Hitler. It was about Hitler's atrocities. But my friend, God love her, she couldn't think of the word atrocities. She tried to cover for a second. She went, while she searched for a synonym. But it didn't come out right. She said, Gary, I saw this very interesting documentary about Hitler's shenanigans. Shenanigans. Not even close. And as a Jew, I'm obviously not overly sensitive, but when people trivialize Hitler's monkey business, when the Nazis' hijinks, tomfoolery, and ballyhoo is understated, I feel it does a disservice to the millions who were inconvenienced by Hitler's mischief. Tomato, tomato. Shenanigans, genocide.
Yeah, man, that is funny, man.
Yeah.
That is funny, man. And I relate to it so much because I was kind of like the same wavelength. We was all just vibing on with like how we can just look past, the meanings and just accept it for what it is and attempt to make us laugh. And that shit was funny, man.
Right.
Yeah.
It takes a totally serious topic and it's just like,
Hold on,
give it a different word.
shenanigans.
Yeah.
Hitler shenanigans.
It's
Great.
It makes the point.
Like when I
man.
hear shenanigans, I think. Like some sound
Yeah.
effects.
Right, like
Clown
yakety
cars.
sax. But I mean, he does a great job of.
When I hear that song, I think of chickens running around free.
yeah, just in the
Oh, let's
highway.
get them in. Let's get them in. They're gonna get
Hitler chasing chickens in his backyard.
right.
His shenanigans.
We
Hitler
killed
chasing chickens on the freeway.
Yeah.
Yeah, but before we get into the massacre of animals, no, I'm kidding. That's not anything we want to talk about. But I mean, he does a great job. He makes a point without even saying it. Like, just like change the word, and it gives you a totally different depiction. I mean, that's like saying, like, I do a joke where it's somebody wishes me or somebody tells me it's their birthday. I wish them a happy birthday, and they get mad at me because it's like, oh, just another year older. And the punchline is, well, if someone tells you it's their birthday, you wish them a happy birthday, and they get mad at you, you should get to kill them. But I tried it using the word murder, and it does not get the laughs that kill gets, just because like murder evokes a totally different picture in their heads versus like just kill. Like kill is quick. It's
Murder's so intentional and like
right. There's a lot more passion in murder, whereas like kill is just like, oh, I just clocked him on the head and
Kill the lights.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, we don't murder the lights.
Right. No.
We just turn them off.
twist of a word can change an entire emotion.
What if you were like, I just turned this person off? You know, they're dead now. I just turned them off.
Yeah, just flick the switch.
Yeah.
he's not going anywhere.
Shut him down.
Right.
Shut him down.
He's taking a long nap.
The longest nap. That sounds like Chad Weaver. He took the longest nap. That's how he talks.
It's all about the head nod.
Yeah. I saw him recently. He's doing good.
Yeah, man, I gotta go out there and check him out, man. I've
He's-
seen him in a while.
He's just the right amount of jaded about comedy, and I'm so proud of him. He's like,
finally,
yeah, it's dumb. And I'm like, damn, I love you, man. Like, you're right.
Welcome.
But he's still very funny. I love that. And the people that are like, comedy is epic, they're like the worst comedians. They're like, this is the best thing that's ever happened to me. Shut the fuck up. Whatever happens, happens. Just enjoy it, because that's the only thing you can get out of it immediately. Enjoy making people laugh, because nothing else is guaranteed.
Exactly.
Right.
Do it because you love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, do it to me.
So Dan, did we just disprove our whole theory with the Hitler shenanigans bit? Because that shit was funny.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it doesn't matter what we say as long as it's funny.
Well, the intention is there, The
And he's
intention
a Jewish
is to make
guy.
people laugh.
That helps. But anybody could do that joke. But as a Jew, he made it even more unique, or more like tailored to his perspective.
Yeah.
Like,
Infinitely better. Like
Yeah.
the setup of talking about like wearing the yarmulke and picking up chicks, it even like softens the blow of
Because it's
the
relatable,
joke.
because
Yeah.
everybody can relate to the, male and woman human interaction. He just used his perspective from being Jewish into that same thing that like anybody can relate to.
Right, and I mean, he basically explained who he is, his level of piousness, with that joke to set up the Hitler joke, and it's a great payoff.
Because he relating on a deep level. He's not just using it just to get it.
Right,
I hate the word cheap laugh.
right.
It was a cheap laugh.
I'm getting sick. Like, I've watched, I forgot who was talking about jokes about like Jews and stuff, but I now I'm like always watching other Jewish comics like talk about like they're like, oh, I'm cheap, and I just like don't laugh at that anymore.
Yeah.
Because there was this one Jewish comic that was like, yeah, all that stuff is just like old now, and I'm like, yeah, it is. Like, it's fine if they're Jewish, they can talk about it. I can't say anything because like I'm not Jewish, but like if they want to do that, they have a right to. But it's super hack now.
Yeah, there's a million different ways to communicate that in a funny way, though. Like just being like, "Hey, we're Jewish, we're cheap." Like, come on.
You know what's funny about
Levine has? I mean, his whole bit about like if it was a Jewish law firm, like they wouldn't have a jingle. They would just be like, "You're entitled to compensation."
Yeah,
and that's it. They just yell at you.
that's great. And it's like this whole thing, and
He's saying the
he's
same
from
thing,
New
but
York,
differently.
or he lives in New York. But the weird thing about Jews is if you get it, like you don't get people don't
Weird
ask,
thing about Jews.
people don't ask you if you're Jewish. They suspect it. There's
Yeah.
a considerable amount of suspicion involved. You get accused of being a Jew. That's what I've throughout my life here and there. People have like they like whisper like, "Are you Jewish?" Like, why don't you just ask me in public? No, I'm not. So you don't have to feel so fucking weird about it. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I only occasionally get that. But
All right, before we get going here, Dave, tell us a little bit about yourself. We're going to introduce you at the very end of the episode. Just like who you like. What made
So
you
I'm
decide to
pretend
get
like
into
this is the
comedy?
beginning, and then I'm gonna just okay.
No, we're actually going to put this at the end.
All right.
Yeah, I'd rather just kind of do our whole conversation and then kind of like reveal who
So
you
this is
are.
my intro, like we was at the beginning, but
The
it's
man
really at
behind the
end.
curtain. Yeah, we did the whole Wizard of Oz part. Now we're going to reveal who you are.
So yeah, y'all, it's me. Surprise! You didn't even know, but now you know. It was me the whole time. Thought it was Dave Flynt, but it was me. I'm back.
it was me, Cornelius.
Yeah, well, like what got you into comedy in the first place? Like what was the decision that was like, I'm going to get on stage and see what happens?
Actually, some of my friends made me do it. I mean, I just always do this stuff. I mean, I don't know. It's just kind of how I am, man. It's kind of how I express myself. I mean, on a deeper level, I guess you could say it's how I cope with stuff too. You know, it's a coping mechanism to the point where it's just part of my, you know what I'm saying, my just how I am with everything. So it's like, might as well, do it on there.
I feel like you're naturally a comedian. You didn't learn it, really. You just are. Well, you learned how to do it on a stage, but like you didn't really have to learn anything. You were already kind of like that. This is what it feels like.
I heckled my first show. My first show. I didn't know you weren't supposed to do that. I thought you were supposed to do that, but I guess you can't make fun of comedians while they're
performing.
doing their comedy.
It's a coping mechanism. So that's like, I feel like that's a great baseline. Do you think that is like what's behind all of the jokes
just
that you
life
write.
shitty, man. So you gotta laugh, you know what I'm saying, just to get through it, man. Laughter is best medicine. I know it's old and corny, but it's so true, man. Laughter is the best medicine. You know? It's a band-aid for rough life. Well, we all have rough life, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, it definitely helps you through it. It's like you were saying earlier, it's like a therapy. I mean, on some level for everybody.
Definitely get to air your opinions, that's for sure.
People who are completely happy and have everything they want probably have no sense of humor.
Right.
Yeah.
Life would be boring, man. I mean, comedy shows up in the imperfections of life. So that's the beauty of it. Cool, man. Well, I appreciate you jumping on this. I feel like
Thanks,
what
man.
you just said, that
Appreciate it,
kind of
man.
sums up everything we talked about today. Like, it can be encapsulated in that one statement. You know, just like it's like a coping mechanism to help you to get through life, and that's why, you know, words you can choose to let them have power over you, or you
can kick them in the dick.
Kick them in the dick.
Punt them in the cunt.
Yeah, like a certain Steelers quarterback that we won't mention.
This is gonna drop in January, so people will be like, "Oh, I remember that now." Sport.
Unless we bash like all the quarterbacks in the head from like now till January.
Yeah. That's just their.
Who we saw what he did though, but nobody said anything about Matt. All right, don't let me get started.
Yeah.
I post like 14 memes already, so I've contributed to society.
You did it.
I found all the football memes. I Google every single one. My favorite one is one with the cat and the lady pointing at the cat.
That is good.
There's a million of them. It's one for every single thing.
Yeah.
Every single thing,
And they're all good, like most of them.
I'm a meme addict.
It's
I need a
one picture and it sends a message.
Haven't
like
liked the meme.
Minimal words.
Yeah.
That's the new comedy now. We about to be out of jobs.
Yeah.
Be replaced by
Just
memes.
be like, just like here's a meme I made.
You can go to a comedy show. They just gonna
Here's
have
a
like
meme
a
I
big
made.
screen and they just flash memes for like an hour.
And that's my set. That's my time.
Right.
I didn't say any words.
I still want to make memes. But
Do
they're
it.
always weird.
You could be a meme artist. That was my dream when I was little. I said I wanted to be a meme artist when I grow up.
Yeah.
And then everyone was like, "What's a meme?"
It was like you'll figure out in 20 years.
You'll see. You'll all see.
I like writing things that make a few people really love it rather than everybody kind of like it. Like I would rather do that. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, that was it today, Dave. Where can we find you on social media?
At Hitler Shenanigans at Gmail. No, I'm just playing. Yeah, catch me on Instagram at Dave Flynt, DAVEFLYNT. Not with an I, like everybody spell it, like Flintstones, but like with a Y. So Dave Flynt. Just for the people out there who are not good at typing. And no, I'm just playing. And the same on Facebook. I'm just Dave Flynt everywhere. Facebook, Instagram. I don't got a nickname or nothing. Just hit me up. Come to a show.
Yeah.
Laugh in my meme collection.
If you see this dude's name on a show poster, check that show out for sure.
Yeah.
If society get like destroyed, I want like the civilizations millions of years from now to find all our memes, and that would be like the new Bible.
It's just a picture book.
All hail cat lady.
All right, Steve, plug yourself.
At Steve Mers on Instagram, at Steven Mers at Twitter, and yeah.
Steve N. Mers.
Yeah. N is my middle initial.
And N stands
And
for
Ned.
Underscore is my middle name.
I am the David Horning on
With an
Instagram
underscore?
and Twitter. No underscores, just straight up. The David Horning. You can capitalize the, or you can just not. It doesn't matter. It's not case sensitive. I'm not case sensitive either. Give him the D. You can find me first Monday of every month at the Plum, doing a show there starting in December.
Did not know that.
You did not.
No.
Well, that's a thing.
The Plum.
The Plum.
I know a lot of people that used to work there.
Yeah, it's a great place. So first Monday of the month, the Plum. So thanks for listening, guys. You Can't Laugh at That podcast. And go find things that you can laugh at and laugh. If you'd like to weigh in on today's topic, follow us on Twitter at You Can't Laugh Pod, or like us on Facebook at You Can't Laugh at That, and tell us how you did laugh at today's topic or how you didn't. This is all about the conversation, is what I'm saying. All right. Bye.